it's time. Get the chair up here. Okay, it's time we talk about Final Fantasy XIV. Specifically Realm Reborn. All that Realm Reborn nonsense is behind us now, storyline-wise. I know there's a few more things in Coils of Bahamut that we need to do, but the important thing that I really wanted to do is I really wanted to do kind of like a base level tier list of the bunch of the important characters and how I kind of feel about them right now, because I know they're going to be coming back and we're going to be talking about them more and more, and they're going to be doing different things, probably for better or for worse. But since I don't know any of that stuff now, now's a good time to kind of set the precedence that we're going to be revisiting and talking about these characters after every major story thing, like every expansion, essentially. So with base game behind us, we have here, courtesy of Sunslayer, the a list of the important characters from Realm Reborn up to 2.55. Every list I try to look up, there's so many characters, there's like 100 characters or whatever, and that's because it's a bunch of characters that you meet once in a lot of cases, but more importantly, that come in later in the story, and we don't need to worry about that right now. Okay, so things we're going to do for the tier list here. First of all, S tier is going to be, we must protect the highest tier possible, the most important people. This is who we, as the kids say, stan. This is going to be your pretty good. This is going to be, underneath that is going to be more of a like, you have potential, maybe? We're gonna have a neutral stance. This is going to be, you deserve death. This is going to be, mock her from hell. Okay. Okay, so we have our tiers set up. Without further ado, let's get into it. First of all, Reborn. Easily one of the favorites in the game, right from the get-go. First of all, just in a land full of tiny people with pointy ears and elves and pretty cat ladies and all that sort of thing, and pretty boys, he's just a standout. I'm a rock of a man. I'm a mountain of a man with a giant weapon, with giant weapons, and of course, as a WoW player, I personally fancy the giant shoulder pad. Pretty steadfast in all. Every time you like encounter something with him, he seems to be a good person in general, and seems to get things done through just strength and will. And the way Realm Reborn ends is he's not in a great position, but I am so willing to help him out. He's the only one with the balls to actually kill off that little piece of shit, Teleji Adeleji. Yeah, he's just a great dude, and I can't wait to see more from him. Great start. Nanamo Ulnamo. The last heir or royalty in the line of Ul in Ul'dah. The last monarch, I guess. So I really didn't mind. She doesn't do a whole lot, really. I really don't mind her. She's every time in the story you kind of meet up with her, it's been a pretty good scene, or like she's been pretty nice to your character or whatever. She's pretty cool. Maybe a little naive in how things work, The fact that she just decided that to leave like a vacuum of power and announce it during the big feast or whatever is ridiculous and stupid, and shows that maybe she, like, it's very obvious she didn't have the chops to rule properly, probably. I don't know. I wish we could say we must protect, but I think she's just a little bit lower. I would say she's a high tier. I don't think she's one of the best characters or better characters, but what they did to her was absolutely just heartbreaking. It made me so mad. Holy crap, I was so angry. Alright. Going over to Limsa, we have Admiral Merlwib. Trying to remember her last name. It's like Blowswin or something like that. Honestly, just kind of a cool character. Just a badass lady admiral captain in a port full of pirates and thieves, trying to hold everything down. For the longest time, I thought she was like an elf or something, but yeah, I don't know. She's just a super cool design character. I love her, whoever voice acts her. Every time she's on the screen, she steals the moment away from me anytime she opens her mouth. Not super quick to really help anybody except her people, and there's something I respect about that, because, like, why would she? You know? It's like, no, I don't care about the monetarists and the scum in Ul'dah. I have enough problems to deal with right now, but I will help you take down the Leviathan. Because that is threatening my people and stuff. Yeah, she's a cool character. I really, really like her. She doesn't do a whole lot. She's just kind of an NPC that is there to make some off-screen and on-screen, like, bureaucratic decisions or whatever. Specifically, she's just the head of an area of the game that's like, do we have their support or not, and whatever. So she doesn't do a whole lot storyline wise, but every time she does do something, it's super cool. Cool character. Connie Senna. I don't know much about Connie Senna, to be honest with you. I don't remember a whole lot of dealing with her. I didn't do a whole lot in the Black Shroud area, just in general. I kind of stayed away from it. So I don't have a whole lot with her, specifically. I think she seems like she has potential. She seems like she has potential to do, like, some real cool shit. I just know that every time I go to talk to her, she's at the Lotus Stand, and that place looks really nice and serene and cool. That's all I really know about her, though. Again, kind of the same thing as Merlwib, where she just leads a part of, she is put in power of a part of the world that I didn't spend as much time in. So, but yeah. Sid is one of the best characters in the game. Just really cool story of dude who kind of, like, not turned his back, but saw maybe how the Garlmald or whatever is kind of fucked up, and took his tech talents to fight for the other team, essentially, or do what he thinks is right. He's a badass in every game he's in, Sid. So this is no different, and he's the reason why your character doesn't die a whole lot to get you out of real bad situations and areas with his airship, and has, like, cool inventions and stuff like that. So yeah, obviously one of the best characters in the game. Along with him, Biggs and Wedge. I mean, they're cool because they're with Sid. I could take or leave them on their own. I have nothing against them. I don't think they're anything special, except for the fact, of course, there's a Biggs and Wedge in every timeline in this game. So, like, of course, there had to be one in this game, in, like, Final Fantasy, the Final Fantasy universe, I should say. Of course, there had to be one here. Yeah, I have really nothing for or against them. Tataru. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't like Tataru at first. I still kind of don't love her. I probably would say I'm more neutral. However, seeing how, like, she kind of sucks with magic, but has Carbuncle with her, and is kind of one of the last few people from that organization that is with you on your side going into Heavensward, I think she has potential. I kind of like the underdog story. She definitely seems like she's the underdog story in this world of super powerful soldiers and mages and warriors of light and all that sort of stuff. She's a receptionist that is good with numbers and has enough knowledge that she can, like, do very basic magic, but, like, nothing more. So I think there's potential for her to grow. Otherwise, she's neutral. I'm gonna give her, you have potential, though. I'm gonna keep her just a little bit above neutral. Minfilia is... Minfilia is honestly kind of useless. I really like her character design. I like her as a character, as a descendant of oh my god, what's his name? Louis Soir. But she's kind of useless just in general. She is not very wise for the role she's in. I think she takes a lot of cues from Alfie now, which we'll get to him, but I think is a bad idea most of the time. I think her heart's always in the right place, so I don't know, man. I'm gonna knock her down probably to you have potential. I'd like to see her do more, or like I'd like to hear more about her, but I don't know. As much as I hate to do it, we haven't, Pippin's gonna be a neutral because we haven't had much time with him. However, I'm gonna give him you have potential tier because he's Rauban's son, first of all, so he's already awesome. He's one of the few Lalafell male Lalafell that I don't absolutely hate with a goddamn passion. And he seems like he might have a pretty cool part to play in the story. So he has potential so far. Otherwise, I'm pretty neutral on him because we kind of just met him. Gaius. So, Gaius van Baelsar. I know he's a villain, alright? I understand he's a villain, but I really like his design. I really like anytime he speaks, like his voice actor or whatever. And I really like that I really like his plan to basically rid Eorzea of the primals and their gods by utilizing their power. He's such a good villain, you know? I'm gonna have to give you're pretty good. I really, really enjoyed him. I'm not necessarily sure he's coming back, but we'll see. I don't really know. La Habrea, the main real villain, probably, most would say, in Realm Reborn. For the Ascians. The other Ascians kind of had more of a part to play at the very end. Not even the very end, actually. What I meant is in the patch stuff. But for the standard base game, he's really kind of the Ascian villain. Possesses Thancred. Is kind of just like the big baddie doing bad things the whole time. I don't know. He's pretty cool. He's pretty powerful. You needed the help from your god, essentially, to take him out in the very last cutscene, so he was pretty powerful. but he's kind of a piece of shit. Not gonna lie, kind of a piece of shit. We're gonna put him down and you deserve death. Real. One of the only Crystal Braves that kind of knew something was going on and tried to give you warning about it and was looking into where the money was coming from with the Crystal Braves, and kind of like was onto the idea that maybe they're being bought off, or maybe they're being controlled by the people with the money, the monetarists and whatnot. I don't necessarily know that he has potential, but he's higher than neutral for me. So I think he does have potential to be better at some point. If there was like a part tier in between, you have potential and neutral, it's just like you're fine, I guess, or something. He's probably one of the few in there, but I think there's potential there. But fuck the Crystal Braves in general. Ishtala. I don't remember or know much about her, except for she does magic sometimes in some cutscenes, and it's pretty neat. She loses some points because Catgirl. Yeah, I have nothing important to say about her. I don't hate her, I don't like her. Completely neutral. Sorry, I have to look at my... This is one of the few. So, I had, Sunslayer gave me the list here. I've been pretty good about not needing it for now, but I need to look this one up. Lavia Saz Junius. One of the admirals, or one of the commanders, or whatever, under Gaius. Like, second in command, third in command, something like that. I think she has a cool design. I don't know. It was a fine fight. It was a fine fight in that raid. I don't really have any strong opinions about her either way. Again, she would be a you're fine or whatever, based mainly on I like her armor. That's about it. Ilbert is a piece of shit backstabber. First of all, I always knew he was bad because his hair. People with that haircut are bad people. So that was always obvious. The fact that he was able to betray and cut off the best one of the best characters' arms, that like loved him like a brother, kill one of the best rulers in the game, and just kind of be a fucking piece of shit about it the whole time. He deserves more than death. And I hope, holy fuck, I hope some stuff happens to him that is slow and painful, so I can laugh for hours about it afterwards. Fuck that piece of shit. Fuck Ilbert. Emmerich. The leader of the Temple Knights, or whatever. I keep wanting to say Grey Knights, but Grey Knights are Warhammer. Temple Knights are Ishgard. Seems like a real cool character. Again, the only time we've ever seen him do anything is bureaucratic shit in Realm Reborn, where he's just talking a whole bunch. He says some pretty cool stuff, though. He has some line about men of means or whatever are usually the ones who run the Temple Knights, but he is not, so like why is he there? Because he understands the difference between faith and action or something like that. Just like real cool talker, real cool character. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does. I'm really stoked to see more of him. Lord Hauschaffon, or Hauschaffon, or whatever. One of the few people that actually like kind of sticks with you throughout most of the game. He's real super cool dude in Camp Dragonhead there. Every time he talks to you, he's like kind of wanting to be your friend. Super cool person. I'm gonna give him your pretty good. I think he's a pretty cool guy. He's always kind of there to help you, and he recognizes when you help him. Real cool dude. Lady Iceheart. I think Lady Iceheart is actually dope as fuck. First of all, I kind of, like, obviously she's the bad guy or whatever. She's an antagonist. And you're supposed to like be going after her or whatever, but I don't have the fervor that Ishgard and that whole area seem to have with dragons and dragon people. So I don't really like, I'll stick with them because they're part of the alliance again, I guess, or whatever. And they seem like cool dudes for now. But I think that this whole like her summoning Shiva and being like the vessel for Shiva, and that whole fight is cool. I don't know. Lady Iceheart's super, super cool. And everything, all the quests and storyline stuff to do with the heretics. Yeah, I really like that stuff a lot. And she's like a huge part of that. So I really, really like her. I don't know that she necessarily has more potential. I guess she probably does. But yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Lady Iceheart. Even though I think I probably shouldn't be. Thancred. I don't like Thancred. I don't like his design. I don't like his smarmy attitude. I don't particularly like roguish characters in general in fantasy stuff, necessarily. Him and La Hebrea are butt buddies together, so they have that going on for them. They should probably be on the same tier. There's nothing about Thancred I particularly love. I thought he was kind of a douche the first time you meet up with him in Thanalan, and I kind of never got over that. I just don't like that character at all. I don't hate him, though, so he can just deserve death, I suppose. Okay. Yugiri. I gotta say, it's like, even though I'm pretty sure I've seen a picture of her just on the internet before without her shroud and her headgear and stuff, it's super weird still seeing her without that stuff. Obviously she's going to be a point of contention, being a dragon lady hybrid from Dome. The Domans are pretty neat just in general. Ishgard's not gonna like her. I really don't think Ishgard's going to like her at all. However, I think she's cool. She's super appreciative of you helping her. She has your back when everybody else kind of backstabbed you. I think Yugiri is one of the better characters, and it breaks my heart to know that she's probably going to endure a lot of weird Ishgardian racism for just how she is. But yeah, I guess we'll see. Papalimo, one of, when I say one of, probably the second male Lalafell I don't actually hate. Every time he's on screen, he just has this like weird, like, I'm better than you asshole-ish attitude, which is hilarious coming from a Lalafell. But the fact that he didn't cast Meteor in Ul'dah when the backstab happens, I don't know. It kind of takes him down a notch, you know? I think he still has potential. I don't necessarily think he's down and dead. I don't think a lot of these characters are down and dead. The only one I'm not exactly sure of is I think Gaius they might keep dead, but I'm not even sure of that, to be honest with you. Yeah. I think there's still potential for Papalimo. Yeah. Just a neat Lalafell character with a whole bunch of weird latent mage power under his belt. Oh, speaking of people they're going to keep dead, actually. It even hurts to talk about Moonbrida, but she quickly became one of my favorite characters in this game. And the fact that they killed her off like one patch later actually almost made me cry. It's so stupid. Not even like a sad cry in that like, oh, I'll never see my favorite character again or something like that, but more just like the way she goes out is so fucking cool, and like just giving her own life force energy to extinguish that the Ascian dude. Oh my god, what a cool moment. It just sucks that it had to be her. Like, why couldn't it be Thancred or I don't know, Ishtala or something? just broke my heart. Alfie now. I hate Alfie now. I think everything about him is he's just a stubborn little rich little baby bitch that got into politics because, I don't know, he was bored or something. Trust fund baby. Thinks he like knows anything about the world when he knows nothing because he's a stupid petulant little piece of shit child. I can't stand him. I honestly can't fucking stand Alfie now. Every time he does something a little good, in my opinion, he does something else that just like ruins everything. I don't really necessarily blame him for the Crystal Brave incident because I think he was trying to do good and it just kind of got away from him. But that just goes to show that he knows nothing of how the world works and politics and any of that stuff. And he played with real people's lives on the poker table when he doesn't even know how to read cards. Fuck Alfie now. Fuck him so hard. Oh my god, I hate him. Fuck that piece of shit. Brayflox. So just if we're just going based on looks, Brayflox is a true champion because I think these like weird gremlin creatures or whatever are pretty dope. One of the Company of Heroes with, I think, Real, right? Company of Heroes affiliation. She has a, sorry, I keep referring as he. Brayflox is actually female. She has a whole quest line where you're getting cheese or whatever. And a, what's it called? Like, Brayflox's Rest or something, like a whole dungeon to her name. But yeah, I don't know. Cheese is important. There's nothing important about Brayflox in general. I just think that character is neat. I don't think she has potential necessarily, but I don't think she's bad, and I don't think she's like great. So totally neutral. All right. Nero. Nero at first seemed like a pretty standard antagonistic Garlean Empire stooge or whatever. There was definitely more to Nero than I expected. Doing the Crystal Tower stuff kind of showcased a lot of that. I definitely think Nero has a place in this story that is going to be super important at some point. So I'm going to make my call right here and say, at some point in the future, Nero is going to be here or here, but for now, he is definitely just in the potential zone. If I hadn't done the Crystal Tower stuff, Nero probably is like neutral or here, just based on his affiliation before, but I want to see more. I want to see more from Nero. Elidibus, the Emissary. This is going to be kind of weird. I'm going to be neutral with Elidibus, mainly because even though he is part of the Asians and he's kind of a giant piece of shit, he's also, every time he's on screen, he's kind of just defending himself from the others, from being attacked or whatever. So, I don't know, like, just by virtue of who he's with, he probably deserves death with his buddy here, La Hebrea. But I don't know. I thought he's a little bit better. I'm kind of neutral. Kind of neutral on Elidibus, just in general. Yeah. Speaking of neutral, I have nothing to say about Flamin or whatever. Flamin? What's her name's mother? Oh my god, Minfilia's mother. I kind of have nothing to say about her. I guess she would be You Have Potential, but she's a cat lady, so I'm neutral on it. Crystal Tower stuff. I would have put Grahatia definitely down low before that stuff. But his whole storyline of having the royal blood and being kind of like the watcher for the Crystal Tower for when in the future we can basically unfreeze him and the power in the tower. I hate rhyming that, to like do what that like those people want, people wanted. Yeah, I don't know. He's jumped pretty high ahead. I'm a sucker for the self-sacrifice stories, and that's a pretty good one. He has a pretty good arc in a very small amount of time. Lolo Rito needs to be... Death is too good for Lolo Rito. He needs to be like... There needs to be a quest where you just like take an inch of skin off of him as you flay him for like 24-hour period or something. I don't know. You need to do something terrible to this giant piece of waste of skin. Oh my god, I'm getting mad thinking about him. Fuck him. Him and Teleji Adeleji. But I don't think Teleji's coming back because one of the best characters in the game murdered him in front of a room of people in the best way possible. And Lolo Rito was almost next, but then this other piece of shit stopped it, so what can you do, right? Midgardstormer pipes up at the worst times, I would say. He's just kind of rude, but he's a dragon, so I get it. I definitely think he has a giant role to play coming up. He definitely has huge story potential. Like, crazy story potential. I can feel it. So, yeah. Teleji we got rid of. Oh my god. Urion J. I was pretty neutral on him for a bit. I don't like the way he talks. Anytime I have to read dialogue that he's saying out loud when I'm streaming, it just breaks my brain and I can't stand it. The way that Realm Reborn 2.5 ended, I think he might be a backstabbing piece of shit. So I have become less neutral on him, and I am actively rooting against him surviving. So we're gonna move him down. Ida. I don't necessarily think she has potential or is pretty good. I have nothing against her, really. I think her, like, design is pretty stupid in general. I do like that she is basically just this game's Tifa. With her, like, fighting style and combos and just being a punchy girl. Yeah, pretty neutral overall. Nothing against or for her. And then I had to look this guy's name up because nobody knows it. This is the Garlean in that one raid that is literally just a fight against him to, like, teach you about full party raids. And his name is Ritaetin Sas Arvina or whatever. I'm gonna say that he's neutral, mainly because you don't see him or like talk with him or anything for more than like one line. And I like his character design so much that it's actually a shame he dies so quickly. I don't know. He doesn't really have potential, and there's nothing good or bad necessarily about him. So he's the most neutral I think you can get in this game, frankly. Yeah. All right. So yeah, this is my tier list as of right now. These are definitely my favorite characters in the game. These characters, I think, are probably just what I would call good or whatever. I think You Have Potential might have been a bad tier because I think this tier kind of indicates that I think there's more about them coming that I'm looking forward to, and These is kind of like a positive neutral, and neutral is just kind of like true neutral. I think in that regard, what I would do is put Connie Senna up here, and I think otherwise I feel pretty good about what I have under. Like, she was the only one that I was just like, no, I don't necessarily think she's going to get any cooler, really. Like, I'm sure they're all going to have something cool or something like big that they do at some point, but these are the characters I'm really looking forward to seeing do more stuff of. I think the one I might be disappointed by is Tataru. Minfilia needs to step up. She's pretty fucking useless for how important her character actually is in the grand scheme of things and in the Scions. Especially when you consider the other leaders of different, like, the leaders of the Immortal Flames, of Limsa, of Ul'dah even, like, they're all higher because they actually at least, like, do a few cool things. I feel like Minfilia does, like, fucking nothing, except for cry about bad stuff that happens and somehow not see some obvious things that are happening. I don't know. She needs to step up for sure. Again, I just know nothing about Pippin because we meet him at the very end of, like, meeting him was like the last thing I did storyline-wise in the game. So, Real is the only Crystal Brave essentially that I have any respect for left. So I think he might come back in a big bad way. The one I'm really, really looking forward to, I really want to see Emmerich do some cool shit. He's been all just, an emissary basically for his people of Ishgard. So we haven't really seen him step up because he hasn't had to. He's been a visitor essentially and on bureaucratic talks and stuff like that. But every time he opens his mouth or there's a scene with him, there's something cool being discussed on. Really, I have high expectations for him. Papalimo is actually more of a neutral, I think. Yeah, I feel better with Papalimo being neutral. I don't necessarily think he's going to do anything crazy yet. He might, but I have no strong opinion of him. I would say these are characters I have a strong opinion might do something potentially very cool or important at some point. But yeah, that is my A Realm Reborn character tier list for, A Realm Reborn. So now, on to Heavensward.